Aditya, for all those inputs on that front. Let's look at some other news that's coming in. A US-based aviation safety campaign group has alleged that the Air India Boeing 787 aircraft that crashed in Ahmedabad on June 12, 2025 suffered from multiple technical problems throughout its service life, and that safety issues linked to the aircraft type are being downplayed globally. The Foundation for Aviation Safety, or FAS, submitted a presentation dated January 12, 2026 to the US Senate. According to reports, the submission outlines findings it claims are based on documents in its possession, and according to the group, these records suggest that the aircraft registered VT-ANB experienced system failures from its very first day in service with Air India. FAS has alleged that the problem stemmed from what it described as a wide and confusing mix of engineering, manufacturing, quality and maintenance shortcomings. The issues cited include electronic and software faults, repeated tripping of circuit breakers, wiring damage, short circuits, loss of electrical power and overheating of power system components. Let's in fact discuss this reporter that has come to light with Captain C.S. Randhawa, President, Federation of Indian Pilots. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast. A very good afternoon to you. We appreciate your time. So when we are looking at this report, obviously it raises a lot of concern, it raises a lot of questions as well regarding the entire investigation regarding the Boeing 787 aircraft, because it's highlighting a lot of faults and all technical faults, sir.
Good afternoon, Shivani. You very aptly covered regarding the AI-171 crash, 12th June. Right from the word go, since July 25 onwards, we've been reiterating one particular thing to the Government of India, that is Ministry, the AAIB and DGCA, that this aircraft Boeing 787 has got perennial problems about the electrical systems. This has been proved with other incidents which have taken place around the world on this aircraft. Lithium batteries, of course, was a big one. So, till now, the situation is such that they are not agreeing or doing anything to do with the electrical systems, because they want to they have already given a clean chit to Boeing, Honeywell and also the GE, which manufactures the engines, all three American companies. Now, if you see the actions which have been taking place in the last few days, they've again started a new trend of putting the blame on the pilots. And earlier they were harassing the father, the AAB was harassing the father, and now it is nephew and other nephew's wife. We have again issued legal notices to the AIB on this issue. Regarding the crash, we are in Supreme Court. We made the father also a correspondent and a co-petitioner, and we have appealed to Supreme Court for a judicial probe for transparency and accountability. We have no faith in the AIB at all as a Federation of Indian Pilots. We've been saying so. We challenged even the board members of the AIB who are there. They do not fulfill the requirements given under ICAO Doc 9756 Part 1, where it lays down that what are the requirements. So initially they started off with the inquiry with not a single SME on board, and later after our insistence one captain was taken on board. Others, we don't know what engineers or anyone who has been taken as an SME. Now, the very question about the electrical systems of the aircraft cannot be denied. Secondly, the Boeing company has got aircraft health management system which works, which is integrated, and we get a real-time data through in that Intermasat or Sita, whichever Air India is linked to those satellites. So they get real-time data of any faults which are occurring on a real-time basis. So Boeing cannot deny that what has happened. It is a very clear-cut, open-shut case that they would be having all the data apart from the DFDR and the CVR recordings. The report, preliminary report, which was submitted by the AIB, again, that led to a lot of speculations because they gave a 2-second clip of a CVR. Why not about 45 minutes of the CVR was given, or just 2 seconds was given to cause more confusion? So I would say that still we do not have any faith in the system, and we continue to reiterate that there are electrical problems on this aircraft which should be investigated. This aircraft has a history of having electrical fire on the P100 panel, and which affected the buses later on and caused fire. And later on it had landing gear problems. The day of the flight it had a problem with the pressurization and the cooling system of the aircraft. So this aircraft has had a history, and I do not know how much investigative board has gone into the details of finding out that what has actually happened. So we still are in Supreme Court. Let us see what the Supreme Court does. We're trying to prepone the date which they've given in March. We're trying to prepone the date of the Supreme Court, and we are still insisting on a judicial probe. Thank you.
And Captain Randhawa, if I can also get your opinion on, the safety campaign group, it has highlighted and it has also alleged that globally this issue of these technical problems that are arising in this particular aircraft, globally it is being downplayed. Why do you think that is happening? Because you have mentioned as well that this group now has evidence. It says that it has documents with itself that can prove that there were tripping of the sockets, short circuit breakers, and there were a lot of technical failures that could have happened or since day one on that craft, sir. So why is globally this problem being downplayed?
Globally, it is being downplayed because they want to toe the line of the manufacturer. It is very, very evident, Shivani, that you see, whenever an accident happens, the first thing is they would like to, if the pilots are not alive, to put the blame onto the pilots, okay, and shut the case and save the manufacturer, because there is larger amount at stake. If you see the accident of Boeing 737 MAX, which happened in Lion Air, there again they had blamed the pilot, who's an Indian. The second crash, which happened again to their fate, Boeing's fate, it happened in Ethiopia, and when people made a lot of noise, and when it was investigated, it was found to have a serious technical glitch, and the modification which was done by the Boeing and not briefed to anyone. They should have been actually charged with manslaughter charges. Right? They got away, they stopped the production, FAA stopped the production. So are we waiting for another accident to happen? Then we will wake up. The idea of safety and investigation is not a blame game. It is basically to avoid any more further accident on that account. And it is for the safety of the passengers that it is mandatory that truth comes out in the inquiry. It is not a blame game. However, it is thought to be a blame game by the manufacturers because they have larger amount at stake. So they do not want any thing which should go against their the manufacturer of the aircraft. So I think that what this FAS has been saying, and they have put it up to the Senate. This is absolutely true, and we have been saying right after the crash, neither the ministry nor the DGCA nor AIB have listened to us. That is the beauty of it.
Right.
And we continue to still fight the system in the courts. Let us see where we achieve.
And Captain Randhawa, before I let you go, a short answer to how do you think such reports, because these are independent bodies that are conducting investigations, they have the documents, they say, how can we utilize such reports going forward for the safety of pilots, for our aircraft, for our passengers, sir?
See, all these reports are pertinent because they are evidence based. And once it is evidence based, and as I told you, Boeing or the Airbus, they have a real time record of what is happening in the aircraft, each moment. So any manufacturer of aircraft cannot say, I do not know what happens. They are doing real time monitoring by the through the satellites. Okay. Now, they never bring it to the notice of the operators that what is going on. Operator is not going to check the historical data. Okay. It is with the manufacturer because it's live, it is being transmitted. Now, these bodies which carry out investigations or which do some sort of work, they, based on evidence, they bring out a report. And this is what FAS has done. I'm very happy that, what we have been saying, they have complemented now. We have been saying this right after the crash. Last 7 months, we have been making noise, right? That there is a problem with the electrical system. But Indian authorities, no, they don't want to investigate the electrical system at all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Captain Randhawa, for joining us.